You know, when you picture the American horse, you probably think of the Wild West, right? A symbol of freedom, of adventure, of that rugged frontier spirit. For centuries, they were our partners in everything. But behind that powerful image, there's a massive modern industry humming along, which raises a really fascinating question.
So which is it? Is the American horse a cultural symbol, or is it the engine of a colossal economic machine? Well, the answer is, it's a really complex mix of both. And the numbers behind that machine, they are truly mind-boggling.
$122 billion. Let that sink in for a second. That's the estimated annual value of the U.S. horse industry. We're not talking about some small niche market here. This thing is an economic powerhouse, supporting over 1.7 million jobs and driving a supply chain that touches everything from high fashion all the way to the global food market.
To really get a handle on how we got here, we've got to look at both sides of this coin, the icon and the industry. They are deeply, deeply intertwined, and when you put them together, they tell the story of America's own evolution.
And what's interesting is that this industry is surprisingly concentrated. The U.S. has about 7.2 million horses in total, but Texas is the undisputed heavyweight champ with nearly double the population of the next state. Throw in California and Florida, and you've basically got the epicenter of American horse breeding and farming.
The horse's journey in America is it's wild. They were actually native to the continent, but then they vanished about 10,000 years ago. They only came back when Columbus reintroduced them. From there, they became absolutely essential for everything, for westward expansion, for Native American culture, and the population exploded, peaking at over 25 million in the 1920s. But then, as cars took over, their role did a complete 180, shifting away from labor and towards sport, recreation, and of course the industrial products we're talking about today.
All right, let's start where the modern industry really begins. It all starts on these specialized farms, where the entire life cycle is managed with science, with precision, and with just meticulous care.
Yeah, life on a modern horse farm is a highly managed operation. A horse will eat about 2% of its body weight every single day and can drink up to 50 liters of water. Their health is everything. We're talking constant vet checks, vaccinations, even dental care, because their teeth actually never stop growing. And breathing itself is a science, timed perfectly to a mare's very short 4 to 7 day fertility window.
From the farm, we're going to follow one of the primary products into a world that's part craftsmanship, part chemistry. This is the journey of how a raw horsehide gets transformed into a highly sought-after luxury material.
Now, horsehide is just a tiny slice of the total U.S. leather market, but it is an incredibly valuable one. It has these unique properties, like a much denser fiber structure, that make it way tougher than cowhide. That makes it absolutely perfect for high-end, super durable goods.
The whole process kicks off at the processing plant. After humane stunning, the skinning has to happen fast, within 4 to 6 hours, to prevent any spoilage. It's a really skilled job. The hide is then preserved in a ton of salt, which draws out moisture and stops bacteria, before it's all sorted meticulously by type, size, and thickness for whatever its final purpose is.
Okay, so the key transformation, the real magic, happens at premier tanneries like Wickett and Craig. They specialize in something called vegetable tanning. Now, this isn't some quick chemical dip. It's an old-world craft, using natural plant tannins over several weeks to slowly, carefully turn that hide into stable, durable leather.
The journey from hide to leather is a total marathon, not a sprint. First, it's soaked, dehaired, and fleshed. Then, it spends 2 full weeks just chilling in those vegetable tannin vats. After that, it's split to a precise thickness, infused with oils and waxes, and then it's carefully dried, stretched, and finished to create that final, luxurious feel.
And the result of all that work is a material that doesn't just wear out, it wears in. As one artisan put it, it ages with attitude, developing this unique character over time that you just don't get with other leathers. That right there, that's exactly why high-end brands seek it out.
But remember that $122 billion figure we started with? As important as premium leather is, it is only one part of this global story. The other part? Well, it takes us into a completely different, and for many Americans, a very surprising cultural landscape.
Because once that hide is removed, the rest of the animal enters an entirely different global market. Here in the US, eating horse meat is basically a cultural taboo, but internationally, it's a valued commodity.
I mean, the cultural divide here is just stark. The U.S. has 0 domestic processing plants for horse meat for food, yet the international market processes over 5 million horses a year. In countries like China, Kazakhstan, and Argentina, it's seen as a valuable source of protein, plain and simple.
So why is it so popular globally? Well, it really boils down to two things. Nutritionally, it's fantastic. It's lean, high in protein, and rich in iron. But beyond that, it's deeply woven into culinary traditions. In Central Asia, for instance, slow-roasting horse meat in underground clay ovens is this celebrated practice that goes back for centuries.
So all of this leaves us with this incredible duality. You've got a beloved American icon on one side and a complex, controversial global industry on the other. And it raises some really big questions about the future of this massive, multifaceted enterprise. Looking ahead, the industry is really at a crossroads. The drivers pushing it forward are clear. New technologies, a big move towards sustainable farming, and smarter breeding programs. But it's also facing some serious challenges, like ongoing ethical debates, managing its environmental footprint, and of course, fierce global competition.
All of this leads to one final big question. When you consider the technology, the ethics, and the shifting global markets, what do you think will be the single biggest force to reshape this entire industry? It's a complex future for sure, for an animal that is so much more than just an American icon.